So today, Mark and I are going to be working on this piece of crap. So 2-liter turbo Jetta double overhead cam.
CCTA block.
CCTA?
Yeah.
So what we're going to be doing is a 2009, and we will be pulling the head, pulling basically almost everything and removing a piston. I'm not sure if we're going to get to the piston today, but we're going to be removing a piston because piston in cylinder number 3, this one, I think it's 3, yeah, it is 3, so. Has a hole in it. So we will be hopefully changing it. So anyways, it's going to be pretty straightforward because it's not the first time that we've done this, but removing the intake manifold, removing the timing cover, removing the chain cover, removing the valve cover, removing the high fuel pressure pump, removing the cams.
So all that's left is the transmission hooked up to the block.
Yeah, that's correct. So
I think we're even pulling the crank out of it.
Maybe the crank's going to be pulled out of it. I hope not. Probably not. Not on these. I really hope not, but maybe. Who knows? So all of the piping, all of the vacuums, all of the wires, a lot of it has already been removed. The important part is always to remove the engine mount and to make sure that the engine is holding with something underneath. You need to remove this because all of these covers are going to have to be accessible to be removed. The variable cam adjuster as well has to be removed. Basically everything's going to get removed. So we'll get started and show you guys once it's done. First step will be remove the high pressure fuel pump. In order to remove this guy, the important part is that the valve, the cam will have to be positioned a certain way, because if it is pressured, this will never get removed and you might break the inside. So there's 3 bolts. We'll be removing that. We'll be removing this. We'll be removing the high fuel pressure line from here, removing the sensors and everything. And once we have this removed, all of these little bolts are going to have to be removed. This is going to have to be removed and it's going to pop out.
So we're sorting bolts today.
We will what?
We're sorting bolts.
Absolutely. So we have some Ziploc bags so that we know what goes where, and we'll get started. So here's where we're at.
Speaking the Dutch.
Yes. So we've been at this for, let's say, maybe 45 minutes or so.
Oh, at best.
What's that?
At best.
At best, yeah. You know, between half an hour and an hour. The high fuel pressure pump has been removed. The cams have been removed. The tensioners have been removed. The chains have been removed. Everything has been basically removed. The only thing that we're missing right now is we're missing 1 bolt in order to remove the injectors in the air intake manifold. We're going to be removing the oil filter as well to get some access. Most of the stuff has been removed from underneath right there, as you guys can see. All of the equipment, well, the parts. This is what we removed so far with all of that. So anyways, that's where we're at. It's quite straightforward so far. Just a lot of bolts, many different sizes, like triple squares, T30s, regular hex. Like it goes on and goes on. In any case, Mark is trying to access that one last bolt that we're missing. Once that is done, we'll be pulling this off. Then once this is off, we're going to be removing, there's a few bolts for the exhaust at the back. Once the exhaust has been unbolted, we're going to be able to unbolt the head and slide it forward, which is going to remove it from the rear bracket, and we're going to be able to kind of, you know, pull it out and inspect the piston. Once we have access to the piston from the top and the head gasket, we're going to be draining the oil and removing the oil pan, and from there probably remove the piston, and we're going to be done for today, because we're going to be ordering some parts and doing this once they are received within, I don't know, maybe the next week or so. So anyways, what's that?
So done on this for today.
yeah, done on this one for today. The next project afterwards, I'm not sure if we're going to film it or not, but we're going to be working on the STI. The STI has a ground issue. It also has the radio that needs to be wired. And then we also have the H22 Turbo Prelude that we need to do the full 3-inch exhaust with a vacuum controlled exhaust valve, cutoff valve. So this is going to be coming in later on this summer. The Range Rover is going to be getting a tune-up as well, because I believe that there's some bushings, maybe not bushings, probably 1 or 2 control arms that are actually shot. So those are going to have to be replaced. So anyways, we're going to be going back to the Jetta, finishing some of that off once the some other parts are removed. You know, I'll let you know how it goes, but this is where we're at so far. If you guys have any questions regarding the actual process or something like that that we did not film, just ask in the comment sections below. Mark and I are going to answer with some of our non-expert feedback, our from experience feedback, not specialty feedback. So anyways, that is it. Mark, I think he's done. If he's not done, well, we might be on this all night, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do.
Comes down to one rusty bolt.
Yeah, always one bolt. The problem though is that this bolt was already removed 3 times in the last month, so technically it should not be rusty. Technically. So anyways, we're gonna get back at it.
All right, sorry for the noise, folks. Progress update. The head's off.
So what's the good news, Mark?
There's good news? I don't know if there's good news.
You're filming, so there's got to be good news.
It's not. It doesn't have to be good news. It's an update.
Oh, okay.
People who are going to be doing this are also going to run into issues. So this is kind of worst case scenario for you guys. So down here, you can see it right there. Nice gouge in cylinder 3, I believe it is. Right in here, and well, you can't see the head, but yeah, there's a piece of the head that kind of broke off. Jesus H, it's so loud around your place, Jace.
I know. So,
yep, we got the head kind of scattered here. We got rockers there, and we took the rockers off so we could see this beauty right down there. And so because of this gouge here, we think we have no compression. The valve doesn't seem to be sitting right. It'd be a question of grinding and re-welding and yeah, reshaping this. Kind of a pain in the butt. And at that point, you want to fix it right, you've got to pretty much replace it. So we're scavenging. We're looking for another head. We may have found a lead, but it's like 5-hour drive away. It would be a 2009 Volkswagen Tiguan 2-liter turbo, which is the exact same engine as this one, and as it happens, the exact same engine as my own Tiguan. I have a R-Line 2013. It's a CCTA. And yeah, so since we can't make any more progress, and technically we could have removed the piston, but I think we're mad enough at this thing and ready to move on to something else for today that we're just putting stuff away. Or there's an or.
Do you think that there's people that do machine work, machinists, that are good enough
to fix that? But the question is
someone and you say, you know, is this fixable? Like, yes, it is bad from a compression side, and you know, from from a functional side, but would someone be able to fix that?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know that it'd be even advisable or worth it, because the amount of work that might go into that. The machinist might charge you $400 or $500 to fix it.
You can get a used one for that.
I can get the whole Tiguan for less than $450.
Yeah.
And at the same time, like I was telling Mike, we get a new head that we know is properly working. We already have the cams that we know are in good shape, and we'd have a spare piston to replace this guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of a bunch of birds in one stone is what I would call it.
Yeah.
I could probably scavenge a couple of parts for my Tiguan as well off of that one, so it'd be just kind of a question of finding a flatbed, either rental or borrowed, and driving down, making a day of it, a long day, mind you, but a day of it. Drive down to Toronto, pick up the other Tiguan, and then bring it down. At least we'd have all the parts we need to rebuild the whole thing. And for probably cheaper, I mean, a head from ECS Tuning is on sale right now, just under $1,500. I think it was $1,470 plus shipping.
And then more than what the car is worth right now.
Yeah, plus a new piston is over $300. A used one is 130, was it?
Yeah,
something like that.
130. You could probably get some from eBay. There's someone in the States that we can get shipped within like a week or two to Canada, so
right,
could be worth it.
So yeah, that's progress update.
Do we want to call that progress, or I guess
it's still progress. We disassembled. That's in the purpose of fixing.
Yeah.
So it's still progress. Disappointing progress, but progress nevertheless.
Yeah, and how long did it take?
All in all, I don't know, like an hour? Just to take it all apart, and then we sat here in awe for about another half hour, 45 minutes. And tried to figure out if this thing was gonna leak. We put some oil on here, brought it down, brought it back up to see if it was leaking at all. It's not leaking, but then we're thinking if this car is gonna be sold at some point, you don't want it to go down, a couple kilometers down the road and it breaks. If you're gonna fix it right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it. So then we're gonna move on to that thing, which has some it has a code for like a voltage code, like it's not getting enough voltage. We're told that probably it's a question of grounds. Mike already checked. He knows where one of the grounds is located and is broken. So that's one lead. And then we got to do what to it? Radio?
Yeah, I think that there's the rear speakers that are not working. I think that when I rewired it, because you have to cross match some of the colors, I think that I wired some of the rear wires to the front.
Oh.
I think that they're kind of mixed up. Not
Okay.
that it matters necessarily too much for the time being. We just need to find which ones are the rear speakers, and we need to fix the front ground to the engine. Hopefully the front ground, as soon as we fix it, it's going to make the C0042 DTC
code
go away.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll get on that. Who knows? It might work. If it does work, that would be freaking amazing. Like voltage issues are a nightmare to troubleshoot. So
Yeah, the voltage issue. Radio, I'm not worried about. I know we can figure that out.
yeah.
But yeah, voltage for sure.
And we have the antenna too, right? That we want to try to.
Yes, I got to splice that, and yeah, that's right. Because it's been, for those who don't know, there's a bunch of parts that were stolen out of this thing.
Yeah.
It's mostly all of the parts that are STI branded. And so when they pulled the radio out to steal it, they instead of disconnecting the harnesses, they just clipped it. So they clipped that. They clipped the antenna wire. They had taken that shroud or bezel that says STI there around the shifter. The shifter knob was gone. The airbag was gone.
Airbag.
$700 airbag, that's right. And the hood had been stolen. You can tell that this hood here, right over here, was red and was kind of painted quickly, so that'll be redone eventually. But yeah, let's put some stuff away and then get cracking on this one.
So I'm not sure where we left off, but Mark is currently working on the radio. We have barely, almost all of it technically figured out. What we also did on the Subaru was the grounds. So as you guys can see probably in the little hole, we made our own ground chassis to engine grounds. So one on each side. Those have been connected, and right now Mark is doing
rigging.
Yeah. Well, so
just to try the antenna.
We heat shrinked all of the regular, the power, negative, all of the speaker wiring. All of that is done. Now he's trying to install a radio. What do you call it? A radio antenna. Yeah. So radio antenna to see if it's gonna work, and then we should be good for hopefully for the radio. Yeah. Works well. Works well.
Works well. All speakers work. Polarity is right. Good news.
Yep. Really good news. So
Just gonna tape this up just to try it. Hey, do it.
do it. Do it. Do it. Okay.
All right, plug in.
Yep.
Yep. Here, I'll move this back. I'm holding it, and you can plug it in.
Okay. There we go. And the key.
Nope. Just keeps going around and around and around.
No radio.
Okay.
So Mark cut one of the wires that he should not have cut.
If
It'll
it was
be
for
fine.
a camera, yeah, it's fine. If it was for a camera, you have no screen to display it, so I think you're good.
What do you mean?
do
So
you
it's
mean,
not going
what do
to
you
display here?
No, it's not going to display there. What, in analog?
Yeah.
On.
So we can create a personalized senior living.
Well,
Alright,
we
well,
have
that's good news. We have radio.
we have a dimmed and
Dim.
all of it.
Proper polarity on all speakers. Power going to it. What are you doing? You need to turn on the headlights. There you go.
Yeah.
Did it go dim or did it go off? Okay, it goes really dim. Hey, and even gets the over-the-air data.
It's good. So radio's working. Yeah. I think we're in business.
And I'm gonna go home for supper.
Mark's gonna go eat and I will do brakes.